Internet, how's it going? Okay, so I got some feedback from folks on my Discord and the Patreon, and it was that the towel slidey drill thing, which needs a cool name. Let me know if you have ideas. There could be more clarity between the first, second, and third versions of the drill. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to try to not have a 5-minute intro. So let's do it. The drill is designed to help you hold a coil while transitioning into your brace. File this under butt wipe drill. File it under always be coiling, Seabass and Spin Doctor. Both great things. I especially like always be coiling because if you're always coiling, then you're going to get to your brace closed, which is the point. So why would we want to brace closed? 3 big reasons. We want to maximize the range of motion of pelvis rotation while your brace is active. So if I rotate my hips forward and then my brace gets active, it can't do anything to make torque really here. It can a little bit if you do weird yin and things, but that's not what we're doing yet. That's the first thing. It maximizes range of motion in the pelvis. Second thing is going to help you get into your front post, meaning your posterior chain on your front side. It's going to help you get your bone stacked, your tib fib and your shin and your femur and your thigh. That's going to put you in a biomechanically advantageous position. We want to squat with our heels down. We don't want to squat with the weight pouring into the ball of our foot. That's weaker than having your heels grounded. So we want our heel to get grounded, our bones to get stacked, and to activate the posterior chain. Heel being forward helps you do that because your weight is going to go forward. Then that's going to help straighten your knee and it's going to help clear your hip. So you're automating getting into that posterior chain, making it easier to find success. Third thing it's going to do is because that front side is closed, it's going to help your rear leg move into a counterweight position. It's going to help your leg move into a counterweight position, which is going to keep your swing plane consistent because you don't have to stand up out of your hyzer because you don't have a counterweight. So those are the 3 things. Maximize range of motion in the pelvis that happens, torque happens as a result of the brace. It's going to help you get into your posterior chain on the front side, and it's going to help you get your rear leg to counterweight. Okay, the drill. Am I under 5 minutes? So under 5 minutes. Cool. Okay. So, fold up a towel, little towel you use to wipe discs. Stand, shoulder width and a half ish apart. That's about shoulder width. Shoulder width and a half is like there. Stand a comfortable distance apart. Shift your weight back to here. My center of gravity is there. Turn your hips back 45 degrees. Turn your toe back 45 degrees and offset to the toe side. So from the side, shoulder width and a half ish, shift back, turn back, toe back, and offset. That's it. This is the same place you set up for post to post drill. Back hip crease, front hip crease. Now we're not focused on getting into the hip creases. We are going to get into the rear hip crease as a function of turning back and driving. So you're driving forward, keeping this 45 here. So you're in this hip crease a little bit, not like as much as you can, but a little bit. When you get to a comfortable range, drop your heel down. Try to stay in frame. Here, shift back, turn back, toe back, drive, keeping the knee inside. When you get to a comfortable range, drop your heel. Then you're out of slidey mode, except for that spot of the concrete is slidey anyways. So you can get here, keep your hips turned back, even try lowering more, letting your knees bend more, and then shift your hips back even more, and you can Try coiling your shoulders too, to where you have an X factor. Your shoulders are turned back farther than your hips. So here my hips are on 45. If I turn my shoulders back to 90, maybe even further than that, you can feel there's power here. I did this, tried to film a couple takes of this 2 days ago. Oh man, glute medius gets real sore real quick. So this is a really good thing to do to level up your hip stability. So that's the first version of the drill. It's mostly strength training and getting familiar with the positions and feeling what coiled feels like. So I'm here in my setup position. I'm going to drive forward, keeping some weight and intention on that ball of the foot, and then dropping into the heel whenever I feel like I'm close to my max range. Then I'm going to sink down more, like I'm trying to tear the ground apart. Concrete isn't quite sticky enough down here for me to really do that. I need to sweep. But I can turn my hips back more. I can lower more. Can pry the ground apart. Can get more X factor. I can do a reach back and feel how much power there is there. So that's version 1, is just mostly strength training, feeling the positions. Version 2 is adding a little bit of a dynamic stop. So this is mostly to cement in the idea that we want the heel forward. So the heel forward is built into the setup for the one leg regression, throwing heel forward. It's built into the setup for post to post. I'm throwing, shifting weight at my front foot and throwing with my heel forward. So that's hopefully building muscle memory that it's okay to throw that way forward from your heel versus turning around and getting our toe in front, which is much more intuitive and safer according to our balance program in our brain. It is safer, but we need to learn how to override that intelligently. So this is a way to help cement that in. I'm going to get in my setup position. I'm going to drive forward and then I'm going to stop. So I'm just start slow and then drive forward with a little more intention and stop, to where you get that little bit of jarring when you put your heel down. So I'm here, sink down, keep your knee inside. Remember where the cone is right there. Drive, drop. Can go farther than that. Drive, drop. So you start to feel how this and this want to come in as a result of the jarring heel. Boom. This wants to keep going. Then when I make the front leg active and drive out of the front leg, this front hip is going to clear even more, which will accelerate the rear hip and the rear knee wanting to come in. So version 2 is about getting comfortable spearing the heel down. A way I think about this and I explain it to folks is, imagine you have a spear and you're going to drive it down into the ground as far as you can. That spear is your heel. So you're not setting your foot down politely. You're here and you're driving the heel down and driving your weight forward and into the heel. That's version 2, about getting the heel forward. Version 3 is just a stress test of, okay, can you do a pseudo post-to-post drill out of towel sliding mode? So check in on your post-to-post first. Can I be here in my setup, shift back, fold into my rear hip crease, maybe straighten the rear leg, and then shift forward, start to fold into my front hip crease by clearing the front hip, straightening the front leg. Common mistake here, letting the hip twist to where now the hip is pointing that way. I say hip. Hip is a bad word. Don't use the word hip. What is hip? Is it this area? Is it the head of my femur going into my pelvis? Is it the joint as a whole? No one knows. When I say hip turning forward here, what I mean is the side of the femur turning forward. That's putting torque on my knee. That's making my knee point a different direction than my toe. That's not good. We want toe, knee, and hip to all be in alignment, as they would be if we were squatting our max weight. We wouldn't put our knees in or out or have anything twisted when we go to load it if we were putting weight. on our legs. When we do this, boom, we are putting weight on our leg. So make sure that that's the key, is to make sure your toe, your knee, and your hip are in alignment during that 1/6 of a second when you're exploding out of your brace. Once you're done with that, you're on your heel and you can pivot forward safely and it's fine. So version 3, checking in on post to post. Post to post, letting the leg reposition. Excuse me. Can I do that with some degree of success? Let's assume I can. And then I'm going to combine step 2, which is heel forward, with a post to post drill. So I'm going to slide, have a little bit of a dynamic stop, and see what happens on my backside. So I'm here, slide, stop, throw. It's weird because there's less friction under the ball of your foot, which you usually kind of rely on a little bit to not slip out. So start slow, be careful. Anytime there's a lower friction environment, there's a possibility of injury. So be aware of that. Train smart. Slide, stop, throw. Like, I feel like I'm going to slip out because my weight goes back to the ball for a second and I feel like I'm going to slip out. So, but that can be a good thing because it can help you learn how to commit more weight to your heel, which is going to help you pop into that posterior chain more. So I'm going to try to exaggerate heel drive, heel spear into the ground on this one. So I'm here, boom. I feel a little bit more stable if I get in the heel. I kind of came up and stacked too much on that one, but these are the bobbles that you are trying to figure out in this drill. Here, shift back, turn back, toe back, drive, dynamic stop, heel down, rear, side, boom. So play around with that. It's not perfect, but think about it more as a thought experiment than you're going to grind this full power, full speed. I wouldn't suggest that. Just play with it as a tool to make you more aware of the ball versus the heel and work on getting the heel down and trusting that the heel is down. Okay, let's stop there. Get on Patreon is a short version. You can hop on there for $5 now. There's a forum section. You can post your throw to the forum section and get it reviewed by the other folks that are on there and by myself given enough time, which honestly I do have. There's a gentleman on there who just joined for $5 and he's gotten a lot of coaching recently. So you know who you are. Well done, sir. But basically what I'm doing is I'll do what I need to do for existing clients for the day. The folks that have paid on the $50 tier, I'll do those first. And if I have time available in my day, I will do mini reviews for the folks on the $5 tier. So if you don't want to throw $50 at me and get a full review, if you want to kind of dip a foot in and just see what's going on Patreon first for $5, you can do that. It's a gateway option to get on the Patreon. All right. Thanks so much if you made it this far. Go check out Patreon. See you later.